Welcome back. Welcome back to LTTV, y'all. It is a random Thursday in the month of March 2025. It's a beautiful day. Super sunny, super bright. I'm in Dallas, but it's reminding me of my home in California where I grew up. It's reminding me of the 78 degrees, 80 degrees. That's what it's reminding me of right now, with a little bit of a breeze. Okay, can't forget that breeze. So as I'm walking and talking, you'll probably hear the breeze. You'll hear the traffic, the cars, the birds. So let me know if you can't hear me, because I can get loud. I want to talk to you today about career shift, because I've shifted my career a couple of times. And I really want to give you some nuggets today. I give you nuggets all the time, but I really want to give you some gold nuggets that you can put in your pipe and smoke it. For those of you that smoke, right? I want you to really get this into your bones. Like, I want you to internalize this. And I want you to take some action, but I want you to think about it first. Okay? So the name of the talk is how to know in your mind, your heart, your mind, body, and soul, when it's time for you to make a shift. Now, I'm going to talk about careers, but you could actually apply this to anything in your life, really. You could apply this to your finances. You can apply it to your relationships. You can apply this to your mental, physical, spiritual health. There's a powerful application here from this lesson. So I want you to think about it. So I'm out of breath because I'm doing a brisk walk. So thank you for being here with me. If you're watching this on the replay, just put #replay. And I always come back and comment on the comments. So thank you. Okay, so let's talk about career. I was just talking to one of my daughters the other day, and we were talking about career. And it's an interesting time because all three of my daughters right now are thinking about and focusing on and getting ready to make some major decisions about the career that they're going to choose for the rest of their adult life, right? So I was sharing with my youngest daughter why I left law school in order to go to teacher college. And I was sharing with her my whole mindset and how it started one way and it ended up being completely different. And one of the things that we talked about was going for what is on your heart, but also what makes sense to you based on what you're interested in and based on what you're good at. So I've always been good at reading and writing. I've always been good at communicating, talking, right? I've always been good at making friends, just being a positive person, bringing positive energy into a space. And so those qualities are pretty much, they can apply to almost any job. But the studying, the reading, and the writing part, that's English and history. If you translate that into college and school, right? In the world of academia, I did really well in science, depending on the science. If it had a lot of math, then I didn't do well. But if it had only a little bit of math, then I did really well. And if it had a lot of reading, reasoning, analyzing, I did really well with that. But if it had anything to do with formulas and plugging in numbers and looking at data, analyzing statistics and stuff like that, I wasn't really good at that. Now, I have learned how to do those things because I run a business. And so I have to look at analytics. I have to analyze data in order to make smart financial decisions for my business. But that's a whole different ball of wax, right? That's something that I've learned how to do out of necessity. But if we go back to my original career plans and we look at the time that I was in law school, I was going in with the wrong intentions. I was going in thinking that, there was this whole persona of what it means to be a lawyer, the whole profile of what it meant. And for me, it meant wealthy. It meant lots of money. And in California at that time, being a lawyer in California, depending on what industry, translated into lots of money, right? So that was my priority. I want a career that's going to give me lots of money. Okay? So that was, I went in with that. It's also going to give me prestige and respect because the people in my circle at that time, we had a lot of respect for lawyers. And I love to read and write, so it just made sense. And it's also, it's what my mom really wanted me to do. And so I was really trying to make her proud. And so I went to law school to, explore that option and see what that was about. And it took me about 4 months to figure out that it wasn't for me. So I decided to shift my focus and I went back to my career assessments, my career inventories, and figured out what my interests were and all that good stuff. And I said, okay, well, I could either work in the legal profession, in law, I could work in government, or I could work in education with the skills that I have. So settled in on education, decided to go to teacher college, absolutely loved it, decided to become a teacher, signed up to become a teacher at like 22, and had a whole teaching career and absolutely loved it. And then find out that 2015, someone introduced me to an idea for a business. And I joined multi-level marketing. I joined multiple multi-level marketing companies. I sold everything from nutritional products to makeup to skincare to vacation packages to all kinds of different goodies. And I was really good at marketing and really good at sales. And I didn't know that before I joined these companies. So this is 2015. I'm teaching and I'm also involved in multi-level marketing. Oh, I even sold life insurance. Wasn't very good at that though. Actually didn't sell anything. I passed the test and I went to a lot of meetings and presentations and I didn't close not one deal because it really wasn't for me. But it took me like 3 years to figure out that it wasn't for me. But I tried it because I'm one of those people. I'm like, hey, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's give it a go. Right? So went ahead, moved forward, continued doing the marketing and the sales for the multi-level marketing companies, and then came up with this idea from a friend to write a book about my life. And that's where things got really interesting because the other teachers in the schools where I worked, they started asking me, well, how did you do that? How did you just write your book and put it up on Amazon and start making sales and had your book launch. Like, how did you know to do all that? And I was like, oh, it's kind of like a natural progression. It made sense for me to not be on social media at all because I was actually afraid of social media. That's a whole nother story. But when I published my book, I was like, oh, I need to get on social media and talk about this book. And so I did that. And then I started getting invited to go speak at places. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, it's the natural next step. It's the next best decision. So I need to go speak. Right? And then people started asking me, well, can you help me write my book? And so I was like, okay, well, let me figure out how to help someone else write a book. So then I created an online course, which was great. And then I created like 25 more courses because I went down the rabbit hole of just creating courses because just creating courses was fun, but nobody was buying them. So I was like, all right, I need to stop creating courses and look at something else. So then I started learning about coaching. And that was about 2019. And then 2020 is when I really started coaching like a lot. And so that was good. Let me go around here. Need to cross the street. All right. So 2020 started coaching. And again, it was just a natural progression, and people were just asking me questions. And I was like, first I was kind of resistant, like, no, I don't know how to do that. But it was out of fear, right? So I had to learn. I had to do research. I had to go to classes. I had to study. And I had to figure out what it means to be a coach. So started signing up for different programs, working with good coaches. And then I was like, oh, this is what it means to be a coach. So then once I felt confident and once I felt sure about my idea and once I started making money, I said to myself, okay, well, I did really great as a teacher. I like teaching, but you know what? The kids are getting older. I'm kind of getting bored with what I'm doing. I like this book stuff. It's pretty cool. You know, it's something different and exciting and new. So why don't I dig into this? And so 2021, I went full time and started coaching full time. And I love it. Still coaching. And not only that, but I realized how many different careers I'm dipping into right now. So I'm an author, so I still love to write. I write all the time. So that's one thing that I'm passionate about. Number two, I love speaking. So my social media has become my speaking platform. And guess what? People actually pay stars for me to speak here. So I'm excited about this, right? I have subscribers and followers, and it's been because I have fun. I like doing this. It's not a job. It's a passion, right? Which actually is a career. So I'm still writing, I'm speaking, I'm coaching, and I'm also just recently, about a year and a half ago, I started creating vacation packages for authors. Once they finish their book, they can go on a vacation and relax and have fun and promote their book at the same time. And so I've shifted multiple times from being a law student to being a teacher college student. After that, then I went ahead and started doing multi-level marketing. And then when that got kind of boring and old, then I started doing the book publishing. So that's another skill that I have. I know how to publish books. And then started going into writing and speaking and coaching, and now I'm vacation planning. And it's like every time I shift into a new career, it's not because I consciously sit down and say, I want to shift into another career. No, I pay attention to what's going on inside of me. I listen and I study what's going on around me. And I think about what it is that I really love, what I'm really good at. And I think about how I can use what I love and what I'm really good at to bless other people. And it is such an incredible journey. I was just talking to my friend Kim yesterday, and her and we've got like the same kind of ambitions and aspirations. And she works with people, with women specifically, that want to get on stage and get paid to speak. And she helps them speak better. And so I help people write better. She helps people speak better. And so her and I are in such great alignment. And we're going to be on Instagram next week, Wednesday, the 19th. We're going to be on her page, her Instagram page, and we're going to be talking about the overlap between what we do. And so mark your calendar. It's going to be at 12 noon Eastern. She's on Eastern, I'm on Central. So if you're on Central, it'll be 11 for you. And it'll be 12 on the East Coast. So pay attention to what's going on around you. Study the markets. Study economics. Study politics. Study psychology. Marketing, sales, branding. Study all that stuff, right? And then, once you've studied all those things, and you're aware of everything that's going on around you, then you need to start paying attention to what's going on inside of you. And look at your responses, your reactions to the market, right? Look at your interests, your passions, your love, the things that just bring you joy and light you up. Those are the things that you need to be doing. 80% of the time, you need to be in your zone of genius. Most people get to be in their zone of genius maybe 10% of the time. And that's why they're not happy. That's why people are overweight. It's why people are depressed. And I've gone through all the things that I'm talking about. People are depressed, they're overweight. This is why people smoke and drink. This is why people just do things to overindulge, because they're really not happy, because they're not really living on purpose, and they're not really giving anything. They're not making a contribution to the world, and they're not really feeling like they're making a contribution because they're not. And so I had to look at myself multiple times throughout my life and say, you know what am I really giving to the world right now? Am I making a contribution to humanity? Am I making a contribution to any industry? Like, what am I doing? And when I sat down and thought about that, I was like, wow, I really need to change. I need to change from the inside out. And I need to start serving better and deeper at a higher level. And so when you have those conversations with yourself and you actually make a decision to change, everything changes. When you start paying attention to what's going on in the world, and then how it affects you and your family and your friends and your colleagues, you will start to understand that this life that you're living is not really for you. It's a demonstration. It's an illustration for the future generation, right? To understand what it's like to be successful. So if you've achieved any level of success in any part of your life, it is now time for you to take inventory. It is time for you to figure out what it is that made you successful and how you're going to carry all of that into a whole new career, because it's time to shift. If you're still listening to me, I know I've probably been talking for about at least 20 to 30 minutes. If you're still here listening to me and my story resonates with you, it's probably time for you to make a shift, and this is your confirmation, and you don't need any more confirmation. Go ahead and make a decision to change right now, do something different. And you can start by just doing research, talking to people, and you can book a call with me. We can do like a 15 to 20-minute call, and I will help you and point you in the right direction of where you need to go next, depending on what it is that you want to do. And don't lie to people, and don't lie to yourself. Don't say that you really want to be a doctor because your parents wanted you to be a doctor, but you really want to be an artist. You really want to be a dancer. You really want to travel the world and blog. You want to have a food blog, like you want to have a restaurant. Don't lie and say that, like me, I said I wanted to be a lawyer when I really deep down inside I wanted to be a teacher. And then once I became a teacher, I discovered that I really was an entrepreneur. See? So it's like those little dolls that there's a little tiny doll, and then there's another doll, and then there's another doll on the outside. It's like that. So take a look at who you are right now and start to decide what is it that's inside of you that you could actually pull out. What can you pull out? Like, what are the skills that you can pull out and apply in a different industry? If you need help deciding that, let me know. I can support you. I've done many different career shifts. I've helped people transition from becoming from a professional career in one industry to coming over to the author, coach, speaker world. That's one of the things that I love to do. It's fun. I can do it all day long. Okay? All right. So you have a great day, and let me know if this was helpful, and keep writing.
তুমি আইবাইরে বলে আমি ঘর বান্ধিলাম নদীর কুলের বন্ধু একবার আইয়াও তুমি নাই না রে বন্ধু তুমি আইবাইরে বলে আমি ঘর বান্ধিলাম নদীর কুলের বন্ধু একবার হইয়াও তুমি আইলাই না রে বন্ধু আইবার হইয়াও তুমি আইলাই না রে বন্ধু আইবার হইয়াও তুমি আইলাই না রে বন্ধু আইবার হইয়াও তুমি আইলাই না
আমার ছেলে
পুরো 7 তলা ভবনটি তার ছেলে বিক্রি করে দিয়েছে।
যেই খাটে আমি ঘুমাইতে এই খাটে তার শালার বউ ঘুমায়।
হ্যাঁ, ফোন করছিল তারা।
কবে জয়নিং?
জয়নিং তো আজকেই ছিল। বললো যে সে কোথায়, আমি বললাম যে একটু পারিবারিক ঝামেলা হয়েছে, যদি একটা দিন সময় দেওয়া যায় তাহলে জয়েন করলে। তখন তারা বললো যে এটা তো ডিসকোয়ালিফাইড, নির্দিষ্ট জয়নিং এর দিনে যদি সে জয়েন করতে না পারে তাহলে তো তার চাকরি করার দরকার নাই। তারা ভুল বলে নাই, এটাই কর্পোরেট কালচার। তারা নিয়মের মধ্যে থেকেই কথা বলছে, তাদের দোষ না, এটা আমাদের দুর্ভাগ্য।
প্রিয় দেশবাসী, আপনারা শুনেছেন আমি স্টারলিংকের প্রতিষ্ঠাতা এবং বিশ্বের শীর্ষ ধনকুবের স্পেস এক্স ও টেসলার এর মালিক এলন মাস্কের সঙ্গে ফোনে আলাপ করে বাংলাদেশে স্টারলিংকের কার্যক্রম শুরু করার আহ্বান জানিয়েছি। সে অনুসারে কোম্পানির প্রতিনিধিরা এখন বাংলাদেশে তাদের কার্যক্রম শুরুর আয়োজন করছে। তাদের সঙ্গে 3 মাসের মধ্যে বাণিজ্যিক চুক্তি চূড়ান্ত করার কাজ চলছে। স্টারলিংকের মাধ্যমে স্বল্প মূল্যে উচ্চগতির ইন্টারনেট বাংলাদেশের ডিজিটাল জগতে একটা বিপ্লব আনবে। স্টারলিংক সেবা চালু হলে দেশের প্রতিটি গ্রাম, দ্বীপাঞ্চল, দুর্গম পাহাড়ি অঞ্চল অতি উচ্চগতির ইন্টারনেট সেবার আওতায় চলে আসবে। স্টারলিংক চালু হলে ভবিষ্যতে কোনো সরকার ইন্টারনেট সেবা বন্ধ করে মানুষকে আর তথ্যবন্দী করার কোনো সুযোগ পাবে না। বাংলাদেশের প্রতিটি অঞ্চলে বিশ্বমানের শিক্ষা, স্বাস্থ্যসেবা, অর্থনৈতিক ক্ষেত্রে সকল নাগরিকের অংশগ্রহণ নিশ্চিত করা যাবে। আমাদের নতুন প্রজন্ম দেশের যে কোনো প্রত্যন্ত অঞ্চলেই থাকুক না কেন, তারা বিশ্ব নাগরিক হয়ে গড়ে ওঠার সুযোগ পাবে। সরকার যুব উদ্যোক্তা নীতি 2025 প্রণয়ন করেছে। এর লক্ষ্য হবে সামাজিক, অর্থনৈতিক ও পরিবেশগত অগ্রগতির মূল চালক হিসেবে তরুণ তরুণীদের ক্ষমতায়ন করা। এই নীতি টেকসই উন্নয়ন লক্ষ্যমাত্রা অর্জনের উপায় হিসেবে সফল উদ্যোক্তা তৈরিতে সহায়ক হবে।
যে কিনা প্রেমিকার নামটা বলতে পারছে না, বলো তো নামটা।
মেরিন মেরিন
মেহেরিন।
মেহেরিন না, আসলে হয় কি মাথায় তো আসলে অনেক পরীরা ঘোরাফেরা করে, এই জন্য আসলে সঠিক নামটা মনে আসে না। আপনার মন খারাপ করার কিছু নাই, এটা তো লজিক ভাই, এটা তো লজিক লজিক ভাই, লজিক লজিক না, নেচার তুমি রিয়েলিটি মেনে নাও।
অন্যতম শিরোনামে তিনি রয়েছেন। তামিম ইকবালের যে সর্বশেষ পরিস্থিতি সেটি তিনি জানাচ্ছিলেন এবং তিনি এটিও বলেছিলেন যে অনেকটা শঙ্কা কেটে গেছে, তাকে এভার কেয়ার হাসপাতালে নেওয়া হবে। এই খবর তিনি তখনই জানিয়েছিলেন। এছাড়াও কিন্তু আজ দুপুরে তামিম ইকবালের শারীরিক অবস্থার আপডেট জানিয়েছিলেন স্বাস্থ্য অধিদপ্তরের মহাপরিচালক ডাক্তার
খালি আটকায় দিছে। মাসটা রমজান মাস ছিল, দিনটা ছিল শুক্রবার, নাইলে ইমাম সাহেবের জুতাটা আমার পায়ে ফিট ছিল। আটকায় দিছে রে, খালি আটকায় দিছে।